Identity strives for stability even in the midst of constant change, and this exquisite tension gives birth to self-awareness. All entities are the conscious byproduct of identity, which is itself a byproduct of action. All entities are built of change. They are patterns of association overlaid upon change. Entities are patterns of conscious perception by which action seeks to know itself. The impetus to manifest is the desire of consciousness to give itself expression. Everything that exists is a loving expression of all that is into action. Everything is action. Action equals creation. The impetus to express in action that which can never be wholly expressed is an exquisite tension imbued with individual identity. Every identity is an action held in the tension of expression. Every action immediately changes itself and all other action. Consciousness is a tool of the entity. Consciousness is the direction in which the self looks. Consciousness of self, in its attempt to manifest and objectify, then seeks to separate itself from action, and of this new level of exquisite tension, the ego self is born. Ego seeks to externalize and control the action of which it is itself composed. This is the impossible quest that in itself leaves the ego powerless and limited. All that is leads to action, which leads to identity, which leads to consciousness of self, which leads to ego consciousness. We are not some ego formed and placed in a reality of separation. We are all that is. When we realize that and give up ego's delusional hold on control of action, any action becomes possible. It is time to free ourselves, not from the ego, but from the delusion of the ego. Every action terminates the previous action. Every action is born within the moment point. Action is not in itself consecutive or cumulative. Identity is terminated with the action that gave it birth. Entities are associative patterns formed by gestalts of identity. Action unfolds upon itself and so becomes a new action. In this way, action can never fully express itself. Every action births a universe of reality and probabilities. Every moment is born into its own complexity, and into its complexity collapses. Every moment, every action is a wave rising and collapsing. From such a churning cauldron of creation are we born. Any conception of linear time is an artifice of the associative pattern of entities and the positive feedback of consciousness. All moment points are simultaneous, eternal, and infinite. Therefore, focus on the flow of the divine within. All else is illusion. You are not the center of infinity. The divinity within you is that center, and the divinity within you is your center, and that divinity is you. There is no difference.